Hey guys, I have another bench to review and critique and go over with you. This is the Mikolo fitness bench. It's their version 2.0. Some key features that you're gonna wanna know about this before we test it and see if it does what it actually says it does, which is the best part of the review in my opinion, is it's 3x3, 14 gauge steel. It does store upright. So you have the upright storage. Easy to maneuver around because it only weighs 76 pounds. So we have the 76 pounds, has overall 1,500 pound capacity. For the bench, the headrest here has a 300 pound capacity. There are 11 back pad positions. There are 3 seat positions. And the headrest here has 5 positions. Starting from the bottom and working our way up, you can see it's a decline. It's maybe a 10% decline. It's not steep of a decline. So here we go. Let's lay it back down. So you can still do enough to have a decline bench or any kind of decline exercises you want. Let's work our way up. So as we go to flat, I have to adjust this again down here to bring it up. And then we have our flat. So it does take a little bit of steps, but that's what you have to go through if you want a bench that does a lot of things. So here we go. We have our flat bench. Padding is firm. I mean, there's not really a lot to say about flat bench. A flat bench, it's really hard to mess up, and they didn't mess up. So that's good. Now let's try an incline. So we have incline here. Again, for me, when I have an incline, I like a higher seat, so I can really get like in my hips in there deep. So this one, you can't go all the way up when this is past the 60%. So at 45, I can put this. No, I can't. So at 30, you can have this all the way up. If you're above 30 degrees, you have to have this either at 0 or 10 degrees. So let's put it there. Let's do some more incline things. So here we go, incline. That's fine. Me personally, I would like this seat to be a little bit higher. I like having that, my hip pocket, which is really dug in there, and this doesn't do that. All right, let's do all the way up and then show you the half bench. So here we go, 85 degrees. That is its highest position. Now let's talk half bench. So you can see we have position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, and then position 5 all the way down. The one thing that I absolutely love about this bench is I can do seated barbell presses in my rack with this. The bench definitely has some special extras about it. These knobs down here to move the adjustment of the backrest have a nice little knurling if you care about knurling. For me, I don't. Even this handle down here has knurling on it. I don't really care about knurling. It does have wheels, so you can slide it around. We'll get back to that. So it is FID, so you have flat, incline, and decline, but it also has this key feature which definitely sets it apart from other benches, is it can become a half bench. If you don't know what a half bench is, let me show you. The half bench feature sets itself apart from other bench features. So if you know what a half bench feature is, let me show you. So we bring it all the way up, and then the half bench is this here. You can set it down so that way you can do overhead tricep extensions, you can do seated military press, and as I said, this has 5 different positions for the headrest. So you could even use this to do rows, you could do like spider curls. This does add a really cool feature. It makes it a little more versatile. The half bench does give you that more versatility to do some exercises that I can't normally do with my full-size benches. So I do absolutely say great job on making a bench that can be a half bench. Phenomenal. So here we are, right? You can still do your tricep extensions, and that full-size bench isn't getting in your way. Phenomenal. Well done. As I said, we could do spider curls. So here we go. So you could lean on this. You could do your spider curls. You could do your seal rows. You could do your one arm rows. Remember, this height isn't adjustable. I am just shy of 5'10". So if you aren't a super tall person, this isn't going to work for you, right? If you're a lot shorter, you're not going to be able to do those kinds of exercises. You have to have the leg length and the overall body length to get in this position. So here's that lower one. Again, if I push on it, the bench, I mean, it's not exactly stable. So I wouldn't use this incline for positioning facing the bench. I would face away, and you could do some preacher curls here like this. That could be an option for you. Maybe that's, a nice fun exercise for you to add into your home gym. There's a couple of things that I want to say that stuck out to me in the last couple weeks that I've been using that. So first is when you're adjusting the bench, you have to have everything kind of working together. So for example, if I have this bench at a higher incline, then this down here can't go up any further. So it only can go to 2 positions. So if you want this to be at a 90, this has to be at a 0, and then you can bring it up to a 90. So it does also have this internal ladder feature for adjustments. I find that this one isn't as smooth as other ones. It definitely could glide a little easier. I will say that's one of my critiques or suggestions, is to make that a little more smooth, because it just definitely kind of rickety, and instead of just picking it up and sliding it in, it takes a little bit of wiggle room. Another feature here that is really cool is you have this knob here, so you can have this set at different heights. If you want it at a flat bench or decline, that's where the decline is going to rest on. So for example, unscrewing it, moving it all the way down, locking it in, screwing it down, and then, right, we have to put this back to the neutral position before we can move it down. That one you still kind of have to shove into. So I'll bring this up, and then, see, it doesn't really slide that well, but that's okay. So then you have the decline because I lowered that little stopper all the way down. My next kind of word of caution is these wheels are really small. You see how small these wheels are? You really can't see them at the bottom. That makes it a really pain in the butt to move. They definitely need wheels that are bigger than this so you can slide it over all different types of garage gym flooring. Honestly, these wheels were, between the wheels and this kind of rickety ladder, those are my 2 biggest areas of improvement. Now let's test this and see how it feels and how it does its job at flat, incline, decline, and half bench. Who is this bench good for? It's good for any home gym person, especially if you like doing seated military presses. I love seated military presses because it takes my legs out of the equation, where even if you're doing a strict overhead press, you might have a tendency to do a little dip drive, or if you're doing a seated overhead press with a barbell, you have to do core stability and like all shoulders. So that is a positive. My areas of improvement, again, have a little bit more like slide and glide on that adjustment ladder and bigger wheels. I would love bigger wheels. For home gym people, we have to move our things around all the time. Make it easy. Give us bigger wheels. My absolute favorite part is going to be this half bench. For me, that justifies this bench. I will keep this bench because this allows me to do exercises that I can't do with my other bench.